Oh my god, a new Let's Play! That's right. Hey everyone, Skull902 here, and this is my playthrough of Kirby's Dream Land for the Nintendo Game Boy. Released in 1992, this is Kirby's debut, the beginning of yet another one of Nintendo's iconic franchises. So, this Let's Play is going to be serving a dual purpose. I'm going to be updating you guys on the Let's Play situation because it's been quite a while since the last time I talked about it. I do still have plans, and I thought that this would be the best way to communicate those plans. But, of course, I'm going to be talking about the game and whatnot as well. As far as the story goes, it's a very simple one. The residents of Dreamland have had their food and sparkling stars stolen by King Dedede because he's a stupid asshole. And so Kirby, he's a bit of a drifter. He's not from here, but he just can't stand to see the people of Dreamland have their shit stolen. So he's off to tell Dedede that he's about as smart and useful as a paperweight. But enough about the story of the game itself. It's rather bare bones. I think that the more interesting thing about this game is its development. Because it's a story of a company really coming into its own. HAL Laboratory. Notice that the games of this generation had a bit of a reputation for being hard to get into, and there's multiple factors going into that, of course. Playtesters just being used to difficult games, game developers being used to developing arcade-style games where like the whole point was to make people spend quarters and stuff. So they wanted a game where it was accessible to new players, and generally just be a game that anybody could enjoy. And it was a valiant effort, to be honest. This game, it's easy to pick up, it's short, and whatnot, so I think they hit the nail on the head there. The composer, Jun Ishikawa, also contributed to this by making a lot of the songs very hummable to children. The songs were intended to be like that, so that's pretty cool. We got our first boss here, Wispy Woods. He doesn't even seem to be all that threatening, to be honest. He just, blows wind and drops apples. But, very easily taken care of. Just hang out by his side. Like, it doesn't hurt you. It's like a wall. And then just wait for the apples, suck them up, and, throw them back at him. It's all good. So, HAL, with their intentions of making a game that was, easy and whatnot, needed someone to come up with an idea, and that someone was Masahiro Sakurai, who was like a fucking prodigy, apparently. He was only 19 years old when this game started development, which, I mean, is impressive as fuck. Like, at 19 years old, I was having trouble getting my stupid Windows Movie Maker sprite series, done. So, just a massive props to Sakurai for being able to be like the head, of such a project at such a young age. Just incredible. There aren't really a whole lot of 19-year-olds around who can just be like, here, hold my soft drink, and be the lead developer of a video game, you know? The developers did have some trouble, though, because this game was developed on something called a twin Famicom. That was basically like two Famicoms put together. There were two cartridge slots, and the development kit was just really bare bones from what I can see of it and whatnot. There was like a trackball with two buttons, and there wasn't even a keyboard. It was like an on-screen keyboard, so it was a tough one to develop, despite the intention of being a game made for beginners. We just saw that. It was another example, actually, of how they wanted to make the game you know, accessible and whatnot, was using the enemies as projectiles. That was something that hadn't really been done before. Kirby doesn't have his copy ability though. That would come in Kirby's Adventure. But as they say in the infomercials, that's not all. They also ran into the trouble of a small amount of advanced orders for the game, well below expectations. But thankfully, Nintendo swooped in. And I'll say more about that after this. This is Lololo and La La La. They come from like their own series, The Adventures of Lolo. And in that, it's like a puzzle game where they're doing like basically this. You know, you push blocks to solve the puzzles. So a fun little reference. Interesting that they made the protagonists of one series like the enemies in this one here. But they are staples of both their own franchise and Kirby in that way. So as far as strategy for this boss fight goes, I'm not the greatest at it, but basically you just, you know, suck up the blocks and spin them back at Lololo and La La La. They're easily taken care of. Back to the development of the game, though, Nintendo swooped in and they enjoyed the idea of the game, but they wanted to make some suggestions for changes and whatnot. So what they said was that they wanted the memory of the game to be increased. They wanted an extra mode to be put in there, and we'll see the code for that. It's basically like a hard mode for the game for more experienced players or people looking for an extra challenge. And they also suggested a name change for Kirby because Kirby was originally going to be called like Popopo or Popo, and the game itself, I believe, was going to be called like Twinkle Popo. And they wanted a name with more international appeal, so Nintendo of America sent HAL Laboratory a list of names to choose from, and Kirby happened to be the name that they chose. Some believe that that the intention was to refer to a man named John Kirby, who helped Nintendo in the Universal Studios lawsuit. But this was lost on the Japanese developers. They considered it a happy little coincidence once they found out. And there's also a rumor that John Kirby himself was given a copy of the game and took it in stride. So, could be a reference, maybe not. I'm not sure, but that's basically the development story of Kirby's Dream Land for the NES, or for the Game Boy, rather. I'm sorry, I just woke up, so... I'm proving myself to be just as intelligent as King Dedede.
Warp Star,
But
oh god!
one final little thing was Kirby's color. Apparently, Sakurai and Shigeru Miyamoto had a conversation, not like a full-blown argument or anything, like a lot of sources say, but they did have a conversation that was basically like what color they thought Kirby should be. Miyamoto saw Kirby as like yellow, and Sakurai and the rest of the team saw him as pink, which is reflected in the Japanese box art. In the North American box art, however, he's white, in the North American commercial as well. And apparently that's because the people who were in charge of marketing didn't know, so they just based him off of the sprite. Kirby's sprite was actually supposed to be a placeholder, but the people developing the game, they they grew an affinity for this little blob, and once again calling back to that accessibility and whatnot, he was kept in for another reason as well, and that was because Kirby would be really easy to draw, which Satoru Iwata, who was one of Sakurai's colleagues and had seniority in the company, he agreed on that basis. So a lot of care given to making this game, you know, something that new players could just get into. You know, it's not just the game itself, but it's being able to draw the character, the music being hummable, and I think that that's like really cool and whatnot. So it resulted in a resounding success. This game sold over 5 million copies, and until Kirby and the Forgotten Land came out, was actually still like the most successful of the Kirby games. Like I said in Super Mario Land, suddenly shmup. This is Kabula, King Dedede's personal warship. Looks a bit small. This one's got like a bit of an unpredictable pattern. You just kind of have to like hope that the projectiles don't hit you, because that spread shot is not very spread out at all. So you are more than likely going to take a hit against this dude. But he's not too bad. So, there we go. Now, as far as me and Kirby, like what's my connection to the Kirby franchise? Because I don't really cover it a whole lot. I'd say that I'm a casual fan of Kirby. I had to like write down the names of some enemies so that I could remember, like Gordo over there, who's an insta-kill. And then coming up is let me just refer to my notes here. Scarfy, who can't be sucked up. And there's an example of it. Like, if you try, it'll chase you around and explode eventually. So, don't do that. You gotta send a projectile at him. But I do casually like Kirby. I was introduced to Kirby in Super Smash Bros. Melee when we got it for the GameCube back in the day. And he was one of my favorite fighters to use, not knowing that he is apparently one of the shittiest characters in the game. But when you're a kid, not knowing anything about the game, playing against other kids who also don't know anything about the game, tier lists don't really matter. So, yeah, I just thought Kirb had an interesting aesthetic and whatnot. He wasn't like the other characters in the game, except for maybe Jigglypuff. But I didn't know very much about Kirby for years upon years. Most of my experience with the franchise actually comes from watching Right Back at You, which I love. It has a fun sense of humor. I like, I like the characters for the most part. Like its portrayal of Meta Knight, even though he doesn't do much of anything, really. He just stands around looking cool. But, like, all the Cappies in Cappy Town being fucking idiots. Or Escargoon, the enemy sales guy. Love that shit. It's a fun show. It's largely just driven by the characters being dumb, which is something else I really love. So that's where most of my experience with Kirby comes in. I can tell you right now that this game and the Spring Breeze version of it are, like, the only ones that I've beaten in the franchise. Spring Breeze is from Kirby Superstar, I should also point out. But I've had plenty of fun with it, and whatnot. I also rented Kirby 64 from like Hotel, which is like, for those who aren't in the know, like hotels used to do video game rentals back in the day. And I don't even think I really played it. I just watched my brother play. It was interesting to see, though. Like, because he got fairly far into the game, so we were just, like, watching the cutscenes, and I think it's an enemy, like, similar to Krakow. I don't know if it is Krakow. I'll put a note right here. But seeing that weird fucking eyeball, possess Kirby's friends and whatnot, we wanted to see how that would turn out. He didn't beat the game, but years later I would play it on a totally legitimate copy. But man, this totally legitimate copy must have been fucked up somehow, because the graphics were all screwy. So I didn't get very far into Kirby 64, but I think that's like my Kirby playtime experience. This game, the Spring Breeze version in Superstar, and Kirby 64. Just a tiny little bit of Kirby 64. So I'm not like the most well-versed in Kirby, Goddamn, I almost died there. But that shows off another one of those accessibility features because Kirby floats. And that was because Sakurai was like frustrated with the idea of bottomless pits in video games. Like you could be a really great player, but like one tiny misstep could send you falling into a pit and then you die. So so Kirby's floatability is purely because Sakurai doesn't like bottomless pits. I'll talk a little more about me and Curb, but I got to talk about Krakow here. Krakow's got an easy strategy, unless if you're playing on extra mode, apparently. Like, I'm standing pretty close to him, and he can't get me with that, like, spinning attack. So, he'll send out a waddle-doo every now and then, and you just jump over him when he swoops. You can still jump when you have waddle-doo in your mouth, you know, as you do every day. Uh, so, just wait for the swoop, jump up and hit him when you got the opportunity. He's not too bad to take out, so it's all good. It's all good. I guess the only other real Kirby story that I have, as far as like my experience, is I do have a Kirby plush from Temu that my mom gifted me earlier this year for my birthday. It's kind of funny because she told me that she picked up a plush doll of a Sonic character and then sent me the picture, and it was Kirby. And so I was like, no, that's not a Sonic character. It's Kirby. And my mom was like, isn't that a Pokemon? And so I was like, nah, mom. He's similar to a Pokemon. Jigglypuff might be what you're thinking about. So, you know, that's fun. And I did do a video earlier this year about how this game was the last game that I beat in my youth, actually. I was a day away from turning 30, and I wanted to beat one more game while I still considered myself young, you know, in my late 20s. And because this game is, you know, easy and whatnot, I figured that, you know, it's been long enough. Because I tried once and I couldn't do it on a keyboard because I'm just a terrible fucking player. But with a controller, I was able to do it. So this game represents, to me personally, like you know, the end of my 20s and the beginning of my 30s, in like a small way. But we got a boss rush here before facing off against King Dedede, and I might as well tell you guys about like the Let's Play situation. So it's been 2.5 years since my last Let's Play video. My last like proper Let's Play and like one of the extras. I do still plan on doing the extras. As far as like Let's Plays on their own though, that's tough to say because I think I alluded to it when I played Sonic Chaos in the Sonic run. Like I kind of mentioned it, but like I really lost myself in the Yoshi's Island commentary. Having to like really lean on the fact that it was almost around Christmas when I was doing that commentary. So I don't know if long form commentary is like something I can sustain. Even this video, like I knew everything that I wanted to talk about, but this has got to be like my fucking 30th attempt. I swear to God, at commentating over this game. And I almost lost it just earlier. So, new Let's Plays, I really just don't know. But I do plan on getting the extra videos out. It's just that work on the Clone Calamity movie has been taking up a shitload of my time. And when I do the extras videos, I gotta be recording like a lot of footage. And doing the voiceover and stuff, and there's just other videos that I see as more of a priority. You know, the My Thoughts videos, you know, they're basically like My Thoughts videos, but a lot more involved. Because editing with like video footage specifically takes a lot more than editing with like just pictures as a visual reference. And the extra videos take a lot of, you know, video footage. especially with the confined restrictions of my hard drive, because I lost a terabyte of space when I moved computers 2 years ago. So it, it's really tricky whether or not I'll be able to do another like full Let's Play, and it's also just a matter of like space and time when it comes to doing the extra videos. But I do plan on doing extra videos for the games that I've missed out on. It's just I have no idea when that's going to happen, which is why I haven't really been talking about Let's Plays all that much in like my channel updates or whatnot. But as I said before, Donkey Kong Country is the next one that I plan on getting out. And just if you liked watching the Let's Play content on this channel, just please be patient. That's basically what I have to say about that. Just please be patient about it, because there's a lot more stuff going on behind the scenes, big projects that I'm working on and whatnot. So again, just please be patient. So here we are, the main event, King Dedede. Stupid asshole. So Dedede's gonna do a few different attacks here. He'll try to hit you with a hammer. He'll try to like ground pound you, and King Dedede also has a suck ability, which is a fun thing to say. So, uh, basically, what I try to do here is play it safe. If he runs toward you with the hammer, for instance, he can like bash the floor, and you can suck up the stars to hit back at him, and that's how you got to do it. Either with the hammer, or when he tries to ground pound you like this. Now, when he's coming up to you with the hammer, though, he can reach like the very edge of the screen, pretty much. So I kind of have to play it by like, if I don't think that I'm gonna have enough space. Oh well, there's the suck up ability. If I don't have enough space, or at least if I don't think I'm gonna have enough space by the time he throws the hammer down, then I just float out of the way and try again. Sometimes he'll just straight up fail and trip, which is good, and I think is also like, I don't know if it's an accessibility thing or not, but you know. But with that one hit, he's not too bad to take down, especially if you play it safe like me and just try to judge where he's gonna throw the head of the hammer down. But with a few hits and some patience and whatnot, you can beat him easy peasy. Kirby has recovered the stars, and with their power, is turned into a hot air balloon. But he's returning the food to all the inhabitants of Dreamland, and they will reward him in a later game with a house. So at least they could have done. But yeah, that's Kirby's Dream Land. What do I personally think about the game? It's a bit on the short side, which was a criticism of the game when it first came out, as well as like in contemporary takes. Bubby, sorry I had to do it. But it's exactly what they wanted out of the game. They wanted it to be easy. They wanted it to be short so that new players could get into it and whatnot. I think that it works. Not having the copy ability is something that players who are used to later Kirby games would have to adjust with and whatnot. But since I don't have that much Kirby experience, it wasn't too much of a problem for me personally. It just works. It's a fun little romp, and I think did what it needed to do, along with the marketing and whatnot. It's just a good game, and it shows with how they sold 5 million copies. and how it was the best-selling Kirby game for some time. This is the code here for the extra game, the hard mode. It's up A and select on the title screen, and you can have a more difficult adventure. Yeah, throw your tantrum, DDD, you little bastard. So that'll do it for this one. Again, for more Let's Play content, just please be patient with me. I'm trying as best as I can, but I have so many projects that I'm juggling at once. It's insane. But with all that said, I hope that you enjoyed Kirby's Dream Land, and I'll see you for the next Let's Play video, whatever it may be. I have been Skull902. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.